Namaste. Kshamyatam. Om Swamini ji. So we still have
Namaskar.
So we will get started. Prarthana mantram. Somebody.
Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye.
Saraswati Namastubhyam.
Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada.
Yenakshara samam nayam.
Yenakshara samam nayam adhigamya maheshwara kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha.
Was there a t at the end of the Maheshwara? Yenakshara samam nayam adhigamya maheshwarat.
Yes, that was a thought. I can say that.
Sahana vavatu.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Vunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
All right. Samichinam. So we are continuing the work on Karmani Prayogaha, passive voice. And if any of you have questions based on what we did last week and the homework, you may ask. Otherwise, we will continue with what we had been doing. If there's anything specific that you would like to look at. Okay, so the main aspect of the passive voice is the relationship between the object and the verb. And with respect to the active voice, the subject and the verb. The subject always remains the subject, the object remains the object, but the form that the subject takes and the form that the object takes is what changes. So when the relationship is between the subject, so I will explain or I will address this active voice and passive voice in from another angle. The verb is the leader in a sentence. It is the verb that determines what is going on in a sentence. So if the verb that we pick is something like pathati, then by virtue of knowing the form, we realize that it is an active voice form. Pathati, we know it is an active voice form, and therefore the pathati is leading. So the pathati has already announced to the world that I am talking about a singular third person. So let me open up the paint. So the verb is announcing to the world that I am following the, I am leading the sentence, and the I am holding the subject, and I already have decided how many people are there in the subject. Meaning, is the subject going to be singular? Is the subject going to be dual? Is the subject going to be plural? I have decided. I have also decided if the subject is going to be first person, if the subject is going to be second person, or if the subject is going to be third person. All this proclamation is done by the verb. And because it is done by the verb, what is the subject going to do? We still need, the verb has said that I am doing the work of a third person in singular. But then we need to know which, if it is third person singular, it can be Rama, Krishna, Govinda, he, she, it, fruit, tree, it can be anything. So we just need to narrow down within that big, huge world of third person, which specifically are we addressing. That is what we need to look at. And as we know, in case it is doing a second person, we don't care about the subject, because the verb, whatever the verb says, the subject is not even required, because there's only one option for it. Same thing with respect to first person. So for first person, second person, the verb does all the work. The noun, the subject, need not even be present. But on the other hand, when we do third person, we need to figure out what or who it is that we are talking about. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay, and maybe I'll open up my okay, so the Kriya Padam, the verb, whether it is Kartari Prayogaha or Karmani Prayogaha, the Kriya Padam drives the sentence. Driver of the sentence. Whether it is Kartari Prayogaha or Karmani Prayogaha. So we will take a Kartari Prayoga example and we will take a Karmani Prayoga example. So here, if I use Patavaha Dhavasi Khadanti. So I have taken 3 verbs, and the verb itself says that it is Uttama Purushaha and Bahuvachanam. So if it is Uttama Purushaha Bahuvachanam, then the Karta, there is only one option for the Karta. So who is the Karta? In the case of Patavaha, the only option is Vayam. And in the case of Dhavasi, it is Madhyama Purushaha and Ekavachanam. And therefore, the only option is Tvam. And in the case of Khadanti, it is Prathama Purushaha and Bahuvachanam. And here, it can be, you have a big world. So you have the world of possible nouns. Correct? So we need to determine, is it Ramah or is it, but it has to be Bahuvachanam. So it has to be, it can be Balaha, Vanaraha, Devaha, Asuraha. It can be anything. There's a big possibility. Sadhu. And so if we now look at it from the Karmani Prayoga form, so these two, so what we just did was for Kartari Prayoga. Which is active voice. So now we will look at the Karmani Prayoga, and I'm going to use Drishyate. Udye and okay. So here, Drishyate. Drishyate, we know, is Prathama Purushaha. Correct? And if we just look at the verb, we are not looking at whether it is talking about the karta or karma. We are just looking at the verb, and the verb we know here is Prathama Purushaha and Ekavachanam. Then Udye is Uttama Purushaha Ekavachanam. And Vandyadve is Madhyama Purushaha Bahuvachanam. Have I got it right? Okay, I'm assuming yes. All right. So now this is in Karmani Prayoga, and this is not Kartaha, it was supposed to be a colon. So now we are looking at the karma. So what is it that we are talking about the karma? With respect to the karma, we are looking at it as Drishyate. So what is meaning is seen. So let us go back. Sorry about going back and forth. Let us go back and look at the English meaning of each of them. Patavaha, we read. Dhavasi, you run. Yes, Kate ji, you're on mute.
Patavaha, the subject should be avam, right?
Because very nice, very nice. Yes, yes. So you are correct. I did patha, I did vayam. It should be avam. So I think I should have changed patamaha. That's okay. So we will do patavaha. I have to change that also to dvivachanam. Very nice. Thank you for alerting me to it. Okay, so this is dvivachanam. Patavaha is dvivachanam. And the only possibility is avam. I didn't mean to trick you. It was a slip on my part. Okay. Everything else looks good. Okay. All right. Thank you for saving the class, KG. Okay, so we have drishyate. Drishyate is prathama purushaha ekavachanam, and this is now talking about the karma. Whether it is talking about the karma or not, we know that it is a big world. So we have the world of possible nouns which are object. So how do we know whether it is object or whether it is kartari prayoga? Why can't we say pathyate is kartari prayoga? That is given by the rule. If you use the pathyate form, then you are married to passive voice. If you use the pathati form, you are married to the active voice. So the decision is made at the time of picking the verb. So you can't choose to use pathati, but then say I will do karmani prayoga. That is not possible. So when we picked up the verb, we decided on what or how it was going to be. Okay, so we have the world of possible nouns, which is the object. And here, the world of positive nouns was subject. Okay, then udye is, the only possibility is aham. And vandadve, the only possibility is tvam, yuvam, yuyam. So I was going to go back and do the, so it is V2 read. Okay, so V2 read, you, one person run, and they eat. And avam is the V. It is already conveyed, as you see, that V is already conveyed by the verb. And similarly, the U is already conveyed by the verb. That is why it is redundant. The avam and the tvam are redundant. Okay. And then we have, when we come down, so here it can be anything. It can be, because it's a bahuvachanam, it can be boys, it can be devaha, asuraha, kitaha, bugs, it can be anything. All right. So now we will move on to the next one, which is the karma padam. So here we have the world of possible nouns. So again, drishyate, it is seen. So it can be anything. The tree, boy, mountain, Bhagavan, it can be any of them, but it has to be ekavachanam. It has to be in singular. In udye, the only possibility, so drishyate is seen. What is seen? Tree is seen, boy is seen, mountain is seen, Bhagavan is seen, etc. Udye is I am told. The I is already included. Udye, I am told. And Vandyadve, you all are being worshipped. Okay. You all are being worshipped. So we have the drishyate is seen, udye, I am told, and vandyadve, you all are worshipped. Okay. So now we can go about and make sentences. I can take another file. Okay, so we will work with those same verbs that we started with. We started with patavaha. So the sentence is pre-made for us in avam. And it can carry any number of avam, pathan, kathaha, pustakani, bhashyam, etc. We can have any number, any of that. Avam patavaha. And then I will put all the don't care words in another color. Anandena, jnanaya, pratah kale, patavaha. Avam, pathan, kathaha, pustakani, bhashyam, anything, anandena. So in this anandena, jnanaya, pratah kale, the tritiya, the chaturthi, the panchami, shashti, saptami, none of them change. They remain, they are not affected by the prayogaha. They are not affected by the prayogaha. Avam, patavaha. Sadhu. And then if we look at that other sentence we made, which was tvam dhavasi. Now in the tvam dhavasi, we know it is a sakarma, it's an akarmaka dhatuhu, and so that tvam remains the only possibility. Tvam, there is no karma padam. So tvam arogyaya, in which case I would do tvam, and I will use the red. Arogyaya grihat udyane or you can even add a mitrasya udyane. So let me mitrasya. This mitrasya, you know, should go there, right? That is why I put one. So mitrasya udyane. So whatever you do there, you can do tvam dhavasi. Anything in whatever is in red will not change. That which is in red will not change. Sadhu? Okay. Then we will look at Tvam Dhavasi. Then we are now going to look at the third sentence we made. Khadanti. Okay. And we could use any verb, any noun. So khadanti. So we will say Vanaraha Mahilaha Guravaha Bhrataraha. Bhrataraha is brothers. It could be any of that. And the phalam annam amrani. Amraha is mango. Amrani ikshudandan hastena. So the rest of it will be in red, right?
Is it
So
Amrani or Amrani?
Amrani. I am alarmed at the number of mistakes I'm making. Let me not say mistakes, at the number of slip-ups I'm doing. Okay, Amrani. So Ikshudandan. So now I go to the red color and Hastena. Ikshudandaha is sugar cane.
Okay.
I was going to come back and look at the meanings. Hastena Chamasena. Chamasaha is a spoon. Hastena, Chamasena, etc. Sthalikayaha. Sthalika is a plate. Sthalikayaha. And then Vanaraha, Mahilaha, Guravaha, Bhrataraha, etc. Phalam Mannam Amrani Ikshudandan, etc. Hastena Chamasena, etc. Sthalikayaha, from a plate. Grihe. So all of that can change, and we come back to Khadanti. So let us make sure that we understand them. I will write the meaning. So Vanaraha, monkeys. Mahilaha, women. Guravaha, gurus. Bhrataraha, brothers, etc. Phalam, fruit. Annam, food. Amrani, mangoes. Ikshudandan, sugarcane. Sticks. I'll just say sugarcane because in English we say just sugar cane. Hastena, by hand. By spoon. Sthalikayaha, from plate. Grihe, at home. So all those other vibhaktis, they remain the same. They don't change. They are not affected. And khadanti. Sadhu. So by the same avam, we too, Pathan, lessons. Kathaha, stories. Pustakani, books. Bhashyam, bhashyam. Anandena, happily. Jnanaya, for knowledge. Pratah kale, in the morning. Pathavah, read or study. Meaning we too. Good. Then tvam, you. Arogyaya, for health. Grihat, from home. Udyane, in the garden. Mitrasya udyane, of the friend. Dhavasi, you run. Good.
Vidya ji,
Yes.
one question was, we had done that adjectives which agree with the noun. So suppose we see some thing like it's adjective and then you have to make it agree with the noun.
Yes,
and
yes.
then do it.
So now you realize how our life has already become very complicated. So
Right.
it could be avam. We need, so I'm going to say pathaha is lessons. So vargiya pathaha. Vargiya means belonging to the class. So vargiya pathaha. Lessons of the class. So vargiyan pathan. And then so we can't, when in certain cases the adjective will have to be crafted. Let me stop sharing for this for a second to look at you all. So that's a good question. I had forgotten about the world of adjectives that we said we have learned. So class, right? I wanted to say class, the lessons from the class. So how do you convert when you say lessons from the class, you are making it, you're using vibhakti, from the class. But I want to make it as an adjective. Then you will, in English, you'll say class lessons. You may hyphenate it. You may say, we are learning the class lessons. But if it is hyphenated, then it is one word. But if it is not hyphenated, and if it is still class lessons, and class is the adjective of the lessons, how do you convert that in Sanskritam? We still need to know how to convert, how to frame certain adjectives. So vargaha is the word for a class. Then belonging to the class, we have to modify the varga into vargiya. and then it will become Vargiyaha, Vargiyau, Vargiyaha, or rather Vargiyaha Pullinge, Vargiyam Napunsakalinge, Vargiya in Strilingam. So Vargiyan Pathan, the lessons of the class. What else can we say? Kathinan Pathan, difficult lessons. Kathinam is difficult. So Kathinan Pathan, or lessons are easy. Saralaha Pathaha, an easy lesson. So Saralan Pathan. So whatever adjective you use, you have to convert it into the same vibhakti and vachanam as that which it is describing.
Yeah, and you had given all the like by hand, with the spoon, with the plate. Suppose those were adjectives, means the confusion can be that this could be an adjective instead of something that doesn't change.
Ah,
How will
so,
we know?
So if it is by the spoon, by a new spoon,
Oh,
boy is eating the food with a new spoon, then
okay.
Nutanam will be the Nutanam. Nutana is the word for new or never.
Yeah.
And then Chamasaha, we said, is a spoon. So you have to say Navaha Chamasaha or Nutanaha Chamasaha. Then Nutanena Chamasena with the new spoon. So that the adjective of the Chamasaha will also be in instrumental, will also be in the Tritiya Vibhakti.
Yeah, thank you. The worry was that we may think these are adjectives and try to change it or something. No, that won't happen. No?
It won't happen because the adjective will also be, the Chamasaha cannot be an adjective of Phalani, because your Phalani is an object and it is in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Chamasena is instrumental, it is in Tritiya Vibhakti. So you cannot, because the Vibhakti is different, you cannot confuse the instrumental for a Visheshanam.
Yes, thank you.
Any other prashna, any other question?
So Vidyaji, on the same line in the previous, the first sentence, Anandena Patavaha, right? So Anandena is adjective, or
no?
We're just using
No. It in some other sentence it might be an adjective.
Oh, okay.
Here it is not an adjective.
Okay,
Here it is emotion. It is an adverb.
So actually it is an adverb, right? Yeah.
In this case, it is an adverb. Anything else? Okay. You may all please lead the class in the way that you want to go. Okay. So back to the screen. So we have so Vanaraha Hastena Chamasena Sthalikayaha, whatever, Khadanti. So we are done with the 3 sentences we wrote in Kartari Prayogaha, and we can continue and build the sentences we wrote in Karmani Prayogaha. Okay, so what are the sentences we had from the other Drishyate? So Drishyate is seen. So what is seen? For our own convenience, you can have a norm for yourself, I think. You can say, I always want, in general, in Sanskritam, the verb goes in the end. Sadhu. So Drishyate will go to the end. Then it is up to you to say that in a karmani prayoga, I always want to put the karma first. Or you may want to say, I always, whether it is kartari prayoga or karmani prayoga, I always want to put the karta first. It probably is up to you, sadhu. So, drishyate. I will go with, now I'm going to, just to give us the, to make us dridham, to make us strong in our understanding that the karmani prayoga is driven by the karma. We will do the karma first. So, drishyate means is seen. So, what shall we say is seen? Mandiram drishyate. The temple is seen. I can't change my mind and say, oh, no, it is not just one temple, many temples, because we already decided on drishyate as the verb, sadhu. So, mandiram, samudraha is the ocean. Suryaha, Amba or Mata, Mandiram, Samudraha, Suryaha, Mata. What else can we have?
I am seen.
You can't do that, right? Because when I becomes the object, it becomes the first person. So the drishyate is necessitating the object to be a third person. So
Right.
if we want to say I am seen, it will become aham drishye.
Right.
Okay.
Dhenu.
A cow?
Yeah. Dhenu, cow.
Dhen, Mahaprana. Dhenuhu.
Or Nadi.
Okay. Dhenuhu, Nadi. So all of these can be the object. So drishyate. Then by whom we can now insert. This can be maya. The subject can be maya, tvaya, it can be anybody. So I will include that. Tvaya, maya, pitra, so etc. Tvaya, maya, pitra, ramena. Sureshena. One more word, let me do Maithilya, Maithili, etc. Then
should it be Sureshena? Na? Not na.
No. Why? Anybody?
Because there's a palatal intervening.
Right.
Because of the sha?
Right. So if you thought that the ra will cause the na to change, the sha cancels it.
Negates.
And if you thought that the sha should change it, it is not the murdhanya sha, it is not the cerebral sha, it's not the shanmukha sha, but it is the shankara sha, and therefore it will not change. So sureshena, Maithilya, etc. Then we can have all the masalas, for which I will go with the red color. So what did we say? Mandiram. Again, Anandena, Sukhena. Sukhena. Bharatadeshe. Etc. Drishyate. So Mandiram, Samudraha, Suryaha, Mata, Dhenuhu, Nadi, Tvaya, Maya, Pitra, Sureshena, Maithilya. So the first set is the object, the second set is the subject, and then the red color is various other players, and Drishyate is the verb. So Mandiram, temple. Samudraha, sea. Suryaha, sun. Mata, mother. Dhenuhu, cow. Nadi, river. Tvaya, by you. Maya, by me. It so happened that I used patati, khadati, and dhavati in the kartari prayoga. I could not use the object as you. I don't want any of you to be eaten. I don't want meat. I did not want me to be eaten either. Therefore, we could not use the aham or tvam in the as the object. Otherwise, it could have been mom, tvam, right? I could have said worry. Worry is eating me. So if I wanted to say, I'm making a silly translation. You would use it in some, you would phrase it in a different way. If you were to say, worry is eating me, chinta mam khadati. Or chintaha mam khadanti. The thoughts are eating me. Then it would have been mom. And that would have been the object. Okay. So Maya, by me. Pitra, by father. Sureshena, by Suresh. Maithilya, by Maithili. Sukhena, in comfort or comfortably. Bharatadeshe, in India. Drishyate, is seen. Mandiram tvaya sukhena Bharatadeshe drishyate. The temple is seen by you very comfortably. Kateji?
I just wanted to say that there could be some confusion in this sentence because of the sukhena.
Okay.
Because that is also in third case. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but because it's in third case, the temple is seen by happiness, could end up confusing you, right?
True, but we have to know that the third tritiya vibhakti has to be shared. Kartru karanayoho tritiya. So the tritiya vibhakti is shared by two players. One player is the karta and the other player is the instrumental. That is the reason that vibhakti is called instrumental case. And therefore the sukhena, it is not even instrumental in this case. It is the adverb.
Right.
So,
and that's what, yeah, sometimes in English you have an adverb represented by a third case noun in Sanskrit, correct?
yeah, so I will do comfortably. That way it is comfortably. That way it is front and center that it is instrumental. So it is a point to be noted. What Kate is pointing out is something that we have to remember, that the Prathama Vibhakti is not shared by anybody else. Prathama Vibhakti is used when somebody else is your spokesperson. Who is your spokesperson? In a Kartari Prayoga, the Kriyapadam is the Karta spokesperson. So Karta is in Prathama Vibhakti. In Karmani Prayoga, the Kriyapadam is the spokesperson for the karma, and so the karma is in Prathama Vibhakti. But in other cases, there is no use for, there's no possibility of Prathama Vibhakti. But, and so there is no confusion. But in the case of Tritiya Vibhakti, it is overloaded. The use of the Tritiya Vibhakti is overloaded by multiple requirements. One possibility is the subject in a passive voice, and then it is used for instrumental. It is used for representing emotions that affect the verb. So the Tritiya Vibhakti is used in those cases. Similarly, the Dvitiya Vibhakti also, we've seen Nikasha, there are some avyayams that when we use Paritaha, Ubhayataha, when you use that, so if you make a sentence, so these are all, this is how you start. These are all the things that you will encounter in real life. When we are let loose into the world of Samskrita Sahit literature, these are all the things that we will encounter. So let me say, not even sure if I should do this in a new document. I'll use a new color. So Griham Ubhayatah I'm going to put Ramah here. Ramah Griham Ubhayatah Vrikshan Pashyati. So Rama on either side of the house sees trees. So here that Griham is also, what is he seeing? Is he seeing the house or is he seeing the trees? If you put, he is seeing the trees, correct. That's because I have put the sentence in prose order, and give me 1 second. We are now going to really get into tricky world. So now if I say Ramah Vrikshan Ubhayatah Griham Pashyati. So Rama, so the sentence would be Rama Griham Ubhayatah on either side of the house trees sees. So Rama sees trees on either side of the house. But the second sentence says Rama on either side of the trees house sees. On either side of the trees, Rama sees the house. So now you may argue this is not possible. How can you have one house on either side of the trees? But suppose it is one big house and there are many trees in the middle. Between my line, in the line of vision, I am here and the house is there, but between me and the house, there are a few trees in the middle. So I can say that on either side of the trees, I see the house. So it is perfectly valid. Or you want to convert the griham to grihani. Ramaha, there are a bunch of houses and there are trees on either side of the houses. Or there are a bunch of trees and on either side of the trees there are houses. So you could take it that way too. So if this were in a sentence, you don't have a problem understanding what it is. But if it were to be in a shloka, if it were to be in a verse, like Yenakshara samamnayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha. So there we have multiple dvitiya vibhakti words. Now which dvitiya vibhakti will go with which other word in the sentence? For us to understand all that, we have to start multitasking. Till Vasanti ji talked about adjectives, I had forgotten about the word of adjectives. So, and till Kate ji mentioned the topic of Sukhena being mistaken for the subject, I forgot about calling that out. So we have to start multitasking once as we learn more and more, because all these aspects will come into play. All these aspects. So when you are looking at a verse and you are looking to lay it out in the prose form so that you can, so it is a big process where you learn to stretch out the words of a verse into the prose form so that you can make sure that all these relationships and all these rules are followed, so that you are able to provide the required so that you are able to understand it in the way it needs to be understood. Sadhu? Okay, so we only got round to doing, there are 2 more minutes. Let me see if I can finish writing those other 2 sentences that we started off in the beginning. So what did we have? Udye. So here it is very simple. I am told. So I am told, there is no possibility. I need my blue color. So aham udye. Aham is the karma. So aham varta Suchana Vakyam Satyam Adeshah Sandeshah Aham. Okay, so aham is the oh, you know what? I have landed myself in trouble. All of this I'm going to put in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Please pardon me. And all of this should have been in red color. Okay. So, aham vartam suchanam, because this is a dvikarmaka dhatuhu. It takes two karma padani. It can take two karma padam, and the satyam. Very sorry about this. Okay. Adeshah, sandeshah, all of that should have been in red color. Okay. Aham, matra, by mother. So, aham, matra, guruna, bhratribhihi, putrabhyam, and then Shanivasare, what else do we need? We can do many more words, and it becomes udye. So what is it saying? I am told. I am told by mother, by guru, by brothers, by two sons on Saturday. Told. I am told. What am I told? So, because it is a dvikarmaka dhatuhu, I am told the news. So, vartam is news. I am told the news on Saturday by mother. Suchana is instruction or update, whatever. Instruction, vakyam, sentence. Satyam, truth. Adeshah, direction. Sandeshah is news, another word for news. Okay, so I am told, aham vudye. Matra can be singular or bhratribhihi, by brothers, plural. Putrabhyam, by two sons. So it can be in singular, dual, plural. It will work. Okay, then we'll just take 2 more minutes and finish that other sentence too. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, what do we have? Vandyadve. You all are worshipped. So, Yuyam Vandyadve. Yuyam Vandyadve. Yuyam. who are the I'm talking to the Devaha. Sadhu. So I'm talking to the Devaha, let us assume. By whom? By same thing. Matra, Guruna, Bhratribhi, Putrabhyam, all of that can be there. Bhaktaihi, Balikaya, so Vandyadve. So Adya, today, Mandire, Stotrena. We are familiar with the word shlokaha, so I will do shlokena. Etc. So Adya Mandire Shlokena Bhaktaihi. I don't put the Bhaktaihi Balikaya Vandyadve. Is you all. Adya, today. Vidya, that was supposed to be in brown color. So you all, Adya, today, Mandire, in the temple, Shlokena, by shloka, using the shloka meaning, using shloka, Bhaktaihi, by devotees, Balikaya, by a girl, Vandyadve, are worshipped. Plural. Sadhu? Okay. I can share these files right here, or I can send it to Harinder ji, and Harinder ji can add it to the, post it to the group. Any prashna, any question? Let me stop sharing. Okay. Thank you all for patiently being part of the class and listening. So very nice. We can, if there are no questions, we can do Shanti Mantram. Who would like to do Shanti Mantram? Sarve
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevava Shishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Astu. Samichinam, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vidyaji.
Thank you, Vidya ji.